Hey everybody, welcome to DaveTalks2point3. This is actually take 3. I tried doing 2 of these yesterday. Yesterday was a beautiful day. I mean, it was sunny, it was gorgeous. The only problem was it was real windy, and I don't know, every time I did my Dave Talks, I was outside, I was sitting by the lake. Every time I did it, the wind noise just was so bad on the microphone that I just couldn't use it. You know, you could hear what I was saying, but it was really bad. And so I just said, you know, all I'm going to get are a bunch of people complaining about how horrible the audio is. So today I've got the case on the action cam, so the sound might not be full fidelity, but at least there won't be any wind noise. It is not real windy out here today, but there is some air movement, and it's not nearly as nice a day. We're kind of stepping back into winter a little bit here on the 19th of March 2016. Anyway, I wanted to talk today about some of the interesting television that I've been watching. You know, I cut the cable cord about a year and a half ago, and I still have the internet, and I still have broadcast television, and I still can get a lot of those cable shows from various sources. So I'm able to watch a lot of them. But anyway, so here's a couple that I like and that I'm kind of with. Anyway, the one I'm probably the most satisfied with is Vinyl. It's a show on HBO Sunday nights at 9. It's about the record business back in the 70s, okay? And it is interesting for me because I was a proud youth back then and into a lot of that music that they're covering, okay? You know, that was a really interesting period of music for me. And so I do have a lot of connection with that in terms of my memories, in terms of my music history and what I like about music. It's kind of a Sopranos-y kind of show, if you like the Sopranos. You know, there's a lot of kind of shady stuff. Bobby Cannavale, who's playing, I think that's his name, who's playing the lead character, Richie Finestra or something, whatever. I may get the names wrong, please forgive me if I do, but anyway, he's really great in it. He's kind of like a Tony Soprano-ish character. He really is. He's kind of, you know, Italian, gets what he wants to get, and kind of nothing stands in his way. He's got skeletons in his closet. There's a couple of side plots where he's involved in a murder and blah, 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 and, you know, it's a good show. And they're wheeling and dealing, and they show a lot of what's going on back in the age of drugs and everything else, and music business and promotions and all the crazy crap. A lot of cool music in it. Now, if you look at the ratings, there's a number of ratings websites, and it's not getting the ratings that I think HBO had hoped. You know, it's lucky to get 500,000, maybe a little more views every episode, which is pretty low for an HBO show, especially one that's this hyped. You know, they're really hyping this one. This is like a major piece of work. And I think there's some disappointment on that end, and the question is why? You know, Game of Thrones over there on HBO gets, you know, a lot more people watching, many multi-millions. You know, The Walking Dead gets 15, 18 million over there on AMC. Why is this show, which is so much talked about, at least by all and it got very good, well, it got some good reviews, some people didn't like it. But anyway, I don't know. I think part of it is the millennial thing. Millennials today, people in their 20s and into their 30s, really drive the TV ratings, and a lot of them are kind of looking at this like, what do I care about that music? Or what do I care about the record business then? I think a lot of millennials do like a lot of that kind of music, like the Stones and AC/DC and stuff like that, but that were back in the 70s. But I think a lot of millennials are just saying, hey, I don't really care that much about the record, I like to call it, the record business. So I don't know. Good show, I give it a solid A. Better Call Saul over there on AMC on Monday nights. A little more problematic for me. Breaking Bad was one of the, I think, if not the greatest. That and The Sopranos are up there in my book as the greatest TV dramas ever on American television, okay? Breaking Bad may actually be better. Sopranos had some dud episodes in it. Breaking Bad didn't. Breaking Bad, almost every episode was a killer, you know, and it was just magnificent. And so it's wonderful to see this prequel about Saul, the shyster lawyer. The problem with Better Call Saul, I think a lot of folks are having, is that we're watching the character development from Bob Odenkirk. He's a wonderful actor, and I love him. He's funny, and I love the Saul character, but we're not at Saul yet. You know, we're still in the Jimmy phase. Jimmy is a nice guy. He really has a heart. He really cares for people. He bends the rules a little bit, but he's nowhere near this out-and-out, you know, TV kind of preacher lawyer that Saul became in Breaking Bad. And I think that's what people really want to see. That was part of the appeal of the character, was this guy was just so whacked. And we're not there yet. We're still watching this development of his lawyerly persona to that stage, and it's kind of coming kind of slow. We saw a little bit of it in season 1, which was okay, and but we're seeing almost less of it in season 2. I don't know. I kind of, you know, there's some side characters in it that are good, and there's some side plots that are good, and we got the crazy brother, you know, who's afraid of electricity and all that, and yeah, I'm not seeing season 2 really take off and go in a fascinatingly cool direction. It's kind of like, I don't know. Yeah, we've been through about half the season so far, and I have to give it maybe a B-. The great acting, great cinematography, everything like that, but it's just, I don't know, there's something that's just not satisfying the Saul element of my soul. What else? LouisCK there over there on FX. This show actually came out back in the late part of 2015. I'm just catching it now on Netflix because I don't have cable and I didn't torrent it or whatever. Excuse me. I love LouisCK. I think he's one of the funniest guys out there, and I've enjoyed the previous seasons. I think this is season 5. Previously, and a wonderful, wonderful show. It's funny, but it also has that sad quality to it. You know, he's got a Woody Allen-ish kind of thing. You know, Woody was always good at that. It's funny, but yet there's always a black side to the comedy, and you can kind of see the roots are in pain. The problem with Louie is that there's too much pain. I don't know. You have to be careful when you're doing that kind of comedy, because if you go too far into the pain side of things, the audience kind of glazes they kind of go, okay. You know, and first and foremost, your show has to be pleasurable, a pleasurable experience for the audience. And I just found that this last season was a little too dark, especially the last episode. I'm not going to give it away in case you haven't seen it, but there's this kind of hack comic out in, I don't know where, Oklahoma or someplace where Louie's playing in some dive club in some dingy little middle American town, and we see this guy who's, you know, a real hack comic. But the hack comic has some insights that he partakes to Louie that's really fascinating. And then, I won't get into it, but something not so good happens to the hack comic. And I thought, you know, that just kind of ruined it for me, man. It really was so friggin' sad that I just came away like, ugh. I don't know, if Louie's gonna go on to do another season of this show, man, it's like, you know, Woody Allen did that, you know, he did the funny movies, then he did the serious movies, and a lot of the sad stuff in those serious movies, and some of those movies were good, but there's a point where you just say, look, you're going to lose your audience. People are not going to watch this. If it's too sad, you've got to somehow balance it more. And Louie's getting too heavy into the heavy stuff. And I don't know. It just didn't really work that great. I give him a C for effort. But I don't know, man. Come on, man. Make it funny! With a side note to Marc Maron, and I'm not going to get into reviewing Marc right now because I did watch that a while back, but Marc, who does a show out of his garage out in Los Angeles or wherever, he had the same thing at the end of his last season that I saw. The one, I think it's on AFC, the show, where he kind of did that. The last couple episodes of the season took an interesting, weird turn to not funny. And I don't know. It's going to be interesting. He's coming back for another season and see where he takes this. But I don't know. These guys are pushing it, and they may be pushing it a little too far for their cable TV success. Finally, on today's show, one of the YouTube channels that I really enjoy is this guy, Ben Brown. Okay, Ben is a British dude. He's probably in his 30s. He's very handsome. He's good looking. He's an extraordinarily good photographer. I mean, brilliant stuff in his, just gorgeously shot and edited video vignettes. He doesn't do them necessarily every single day, but almost every day, every other day, every couple days. But this guy, he lives with his quote-unquote, and I'll put that in quotation marks, girlfriend down there in South Africa, which he hardly ever sees her down in Cape Town. And then he spends almost all of his time traveling the world with these really cute guys. The bromance, there's certainly a bromance, if not more there, which does raise the question, what's up with this guy's sexual identity? Is he gay or straight? I don't, does it really matter? No, it doesn't. If he wants to, maybe he likes both. But you just kind of wonder, he seems to have this, really be in love with this girl down in South Africa, but yet he spends all his time with these other guys, and they seem more than just friends. I don't know. Anyway, he travels the world, and if he's not home with his family in London or not in Cape Town with his girlfriend, he's in Thailand motorbiking, or he's in Western Canada skiing, or he's in LA, or he's in New York, or he's in Berlin, or he's all over the place. He did a couple of days in the middle of winter in Iceland with the most brilliant photography of that, some of those volcanic and waterfall-y things in the middle of it. Was just gorgeous, and the northern lights. And then he spent time with his girlfriend there in Ireland on the west coast with more brilliant photography of that rugged beauty. I mean, it's just amazing. He doesn't seem to get as many views as I would think he would get, considering how good he is. There's a lot of video vloggers out there that do not quite as good as him on a lot of their stuff, and not as compelling, and they get a lot more views. So I'm not quite sure how, he's growing. It is growing, but his you would think his videos would get more views and put him up into that mega vlogger status. Obviously, he does a lot of trade outs or sponsorship stuff. BMW seems to be a big sponsor of his vlog. He's always driving around in BMWs, and they're quite often featured in his vlogs. So I don't know, various stuff like that. But I do enjoy him. It's Ben Brown, and it's on YouTube. Just search that, and you'll easily find him. Highly recommend his stuff. All right, folks, so that's my Dave Talks 2.3 for mid-March 20. Oh, you know what? I wanted to do one more real quick review. House of Cards, Netflix. Really beautiful looking show. Cinematography is excellent. The acting is excellent. But the writing is absolutely atrocious. I don't know, man. It was really, this last season, season 4, I think it was just a friggin' disappointment, I have to say. Being someone who's living in the Washington, D.C. area, I really am fascinated by shows set here and about government and about politics, and this one is just silly. You know, Claire, she's the first lady. They want to make her vice president, and then they have her running around. Even the vice president doesn't personally negotiate with terrorists and personally go to Russia and personally negotiate with and, you know, whatever, hang around with the head of Russia. It's just silly. It's silly for the first lady to be even doing that. And it's a goofy plot, and it's silly, and and some of the stuff that Frank Underwood, played by Kevin Spacey, did to get where he got is just ridiculous. So, D+ for the last season, well, it isn't the last season, sadly. There's another season coming, so who knows where this is going, of House of Cards. All right, so now I'm done. Thanks for watching Dave Talks 2.3 mid-March edition, and leave your comments below. Let me know what you think. Don't forget to hit the like button, and stay tuned for more. Adios, amigos.